Hello everybody, this is SuperFang99. Before I begin, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell to be notified when I post a new video. It really helps out the channel. Well, it's been a bit since my last video, but this is just coming to you as the Dream Eater's Investigator expansion has been released. We're going to do a quick unboxing of it and tell you what I think about what's inside, including all of the cards. Not going to go full in depth on what all of the cards are and what they do, but I figure I'll give my quick thoughts as we scan through them. And also, I figure I'll just take this time to chat about kind of what's been going on with the channel. It's been kind of a while since my last video. I have originally planned to record a playthrough of Feast of Hemlock Vale. It's just taken a while for me to get my blind playthrough done. I usually do a blind playthrough with my playgroup before I record a video for the channel, just I figure to be fair to my playgroup and the like. Alright, so as always, we have some internal cardboard here that is just used to make that sturdy. We have some player cards, and we have the little Investigator mini cards as well. All right, let's see what's in here. So we have a little Investigator expansion, little booklets. I don't think there's anything in here that's wildly different, at least I don't think. Alert, bonded. Yes, we need to put in hidden because of Patricia's weakness, of course. Myriad, very nice. The new weaknesses. And as always, we have the new research keyword since we do have the Dream Diary in this one. All right, well, got some player cards and investigators. So yeah, like I said, playthrough of the Hemlock Vale campaign. We're actually almost done. We're like almost the end. We play very slowly, but that's how we like to do it. But yeah, we're almost there. So once that's done, I'll probably look to start a playthrough on the channel soon after that, which will probably be in a few weeks, if not maybe a month. I know, which is almost when the Dream Eaters campaign is coming out. So maybe we'll have to just back to back go through those, but we'll find out. All right, yeah, let's talk about some investigators. We got Tommy Muldoon with his signature Becky and his weakness Rookie Mistake. I always have a good time with Tommy Muldoon. I don't think he's one of the best Guardians, but he is good, and he can definitely play that tanky role. I personally have never actually played him the Tron style, as people like to say, where you put a bunch of stuff on Becky. But that does seem like it could be a lot of fun. Then we have Mandy Thompson, the researcher. Her 3 signature cards, as well as Shocking Discovery. Pretty much assured that a lot of the community thinks that Mandy Thompson is one of the best investigators in the game, if not the best. Albeit she's had some competition when it comes to Seekers, like Amanda Sharp, for example. But I've played her. I never actually played her at 30 cards. I will say that. She seems disgusting at 30 cards. I played her at 40, and I played her at 50. Now that with the new taboo is makes you have her at 50. And honestly, I think at 50 she is still good, but I think she's a lot more fair. So yeah. All right, we also got another broken investigator, maybe to most people's standards. Tony Morgan. He's got his bounty contracts, 2 copies of his 38 Colt, and his weakness, Tony's Quarry. Tony Morgan is a fantastic fighter. One of the best fighters in the game, just because he gets so many fight actions. It's crazy. And also, the Rogue card pool has access to some very, very good weapons. Sometimes even better than the Guardians ones. Tony's very good. And we have Luke Robinson, of course, with his Dream Gate, in which you can get there from the gate box or through a detached from reality weakness. Luke Robinson's a lot of fun. I will say I have had little success with Luke Robinson, not because he's not good, but because he's pretty fragile. And sometimes that 3 intellect and only 4 willpower can come to bite you. That being said, his movement is beyond compare, as is pretty obvious. And lastly, we have Patrice with her violin and her weakness, the Watcher from Another Dimension. Patrice, never actually played her, but I have been at a table where she's been played, and it looked like a lot of fun. All right, let's go through some Guardian cards. We got first the 35 Winchester, a classic there. Obviously, tabooed, the Winchester is a lot better since it also counts bless, but the base version is not the worst as well. All right, we got Solemn Vow. We got 3 copies of that because of Myriad, of course. Love me some Solemn Vow. Very good, obviously, in Tommy, but also good in guys like Will York because you can dump the damage on things to kill it for Will York so you can get him back. Also seems pretty good in Hank Samson since you can take those, I think. Next we got Tetsuo Mori. I love Tetsuo Mori. He's been pretty sorely missed in my card pool. Great way to fetch weapons, or I should say items. Well, most weapons are items. And yeah, he kind of soaks you 2 and 2 on the way there, so it's pretty nice. First Watch, another great Guardian card, honestly. Really can turn the tide of an encounter of a Mythos phase if you're really struggling to get those cards to the right people. We got Daring. So this is the first one in the cycle of skills in this Investigator box. Daring's great. I love me some Daring. I also love that Diana Stanley can take these and commit these on her spells since they're wild icons. And it just needs to be an attack or an evasion against an enemy. Very, very good card. Self-sacrifice. Okay, what does this do? Commit only to a skill test before another investigator. If it fails, you fail instead. Then you draw 2 cards, or the performing investigator draws 2 cards. So obviously it's a protection card, but honestly I've never seen this played. If I'm going to be honest, doesn't actually help them succeed either. So it's just making you fail instead of them. The Hungering Blade with 3 copies of Bloodlust. You know, I've never actually gotten the Hungry Blade to work for me personally. I think it's mostly just because you need to kill the enemy in order to get the Bloodlust, and it's hard to do that with no combat boost when you start out. There's 0 combat. Obviously, it does +1 damage, but you need a high combat investigator to take advantage of it. Fool Me Once. All right, yeah. I mean, I love Fool Me Once, obviously in Diana, because she can cycle cards that, or this is one of the cards that she can cycle off of her dagger. I forgot the card is called, but yeah, because it cancels something, right? Other than that, it's okay. I haven't seen it really played in other investigators, but who knows? Safeguard 2, however, is a fantastic card. The main benefit of this against Safeguard 0 is Safeguard 0 says after another investigator moves, you move. So if you are a fighter and you follow them, if an enemy is there, then they have to engage it. But Safeguard means you move with them at the same time, so you can choose to engage them as long as, of course, they don't have prey, or if you satisfy their prey condition, of course. Very, very good card. Heroic Rescue level 2. Never really got Heroic Rescue to work. Obviously, this stops an attack from an enemy to another investigator, but it's only non-elite, and it does move you there if you are so inclined. But honestly, there could be better cards you can take, I think. Leadership 2, however, is pretty good. It offers 3 wilds if you're committing to someone else, and those 2 resources is really, really good, especially if you commit it to someone else, because then you basically do a little mini stand together. It's pretty nice. All right, we got the Empty Vessel along with Wish Eater. Empty Vessel is always one of those win more cards, I think. Obviously, it is very good, but I feel like at the point where you have a lot of charges on it, it's kind of just like, yeah, okay, we'll cancel one of the tokens and do nothing, which is good, but it's good. It's just hard to kind of get through. And we have 3 copies of Spiritual Resolve. Obviously great in Tommy Muldoon. It's also great in Mark Harrigan since he can dump damage onto it and also heal damage off of it to be able to draw more cards off his ability. Very good card. Obviously very expensive, so it has to be something you really want to do. All right, well, those are the Guardian cards. Let's look at some Secret cards. All right. First, we're starting out with the untranslated card of this cycle, the Dream Diary, which comes with its Essence of the Dream. Love me some Dream Diary. I love the upgraded ones, obviously. And, you know, they obviously just, all they do is get more icons. But a consistent way to get +2 unexpected courages, as you would say, is very, very good. All right, next we got the staple of a lot of big hand investigators, the Dream Enhancing Serum. Definitely one of those cards where it opened up a whole archetype with the big hands. Pretty good card. Otherwise, not good not good outside of its archetype, of course. 3 copies of Astounding Revelation. Obviously, this is a research card, meaning that while you're searching, you can activate its effect. Only 1 research at a time. And obviously, all you do is you gain money or a secret, but if you're Mandy and obviously you're searching every turn, then this is a phenomenal card for your deck. Consistently getting fast money or fast secrets is very, very good. Alrighty. It's practice makes perfect. Oh, so good. Mainly because there are so many really, really good practice skills. Deduction, perception. I'm trying to think of more. There's a couple of Guardian ones that deal damage, like Vicious Blow. There's Overpower, but there's also the Eye of Truth, which is coming up later. Yeah, a lot of really good practice skills, and having multiple of them is very, very good, and it basically gives you another copy of them. All right, we got 3 copies of the Segment of Onyx with its transformed version, the Pendant of the Queen. This card is broken, non-tabooed, of course. Even tabooed, having that as 3 charges is very, very good. I usually like to take these in a lot of the, either you're drawing through your deck really fast, or if you're Manny Thompson searching for cards. Very, very good. That free move to any revealed location is very good. All right, we got Extensive Research Level 1, which, by the way, this came out before the Investigator starter decks, so this was the first copy of this card. I love this card in big hand decks. Obviously, Harvey Walters loves this card. Can get 2 clues for very cheap money. All right, 3 copies of Surprising Find. Obviously, great in all the research decks. It's also really good in like Daisy Walker, since she likes to use Old Book of Lore to search her deck a lot. And you will incidentally just find these and let you draw more cards. Very, very good. All right, we got the Otherworldly Codex. Sorry about the green screen there. I guess there's some grain in there, which is true. So what does this do? You, as an action, exhaust it, spend a secret, search the top 9 for an encounter deck, not only enemy, discard a copy of the chosen enemy from play. So basically, if there's already a copy of the enemy, a card in play, you can search the encounter deck for another copy of that card, and if you find it, you get to choose the one in play to discard. Obviously, it's good in some circumstances. It's definitely a tech card, I think. All right, and we got our different versions of the Dream Diary. So we have Dreams of the Explorer, which gets 2 more wilds if you're at 4 Shroud. We have Dreams of a Madman, which if you're engaged with an enemy, it gets 2 more wild. And Dreams of a Child, which if you have at least 8 cards in your hand. I think they're all generally really good. Obviously, each one is just way better than the originals, since it doesn't take an action to get the essence of a dream. But otherwise, they're all very good. Alrighty, we got the upgraded Old Book of Lores, which I believe are in the revised core set now. Am I crazy? Yeah, I think that's right. Obviously, very good. Being able to have a free play off of taking the action to search is very good. Even reduces the cost by 2, which is even better. And if you're Mandy, then you can search deeper, or you can do it twice. Obviously, you need to spend 2 secrets instead of just 1, but very good card. Hey, we got Abigail Foreman. Very good card, obviously, in Daisy, since she basically has an extra... This basically gives her an extra hand slot for tomes and a extra way to resolve the actions on those tomes. And for Daisy, that's basically a free action. So it's like 2 free actions for Daisy. And finally, for the secrets, we got the Eye of Truth. Oh, look at the green. Look at the green there, the green eyes. Love this card. I love it in... Obviously, it's a tech card, because you want to know in advance cards that have really bad skill tests that the entire party would like to succeed at. But in that final scenario, this can for sure save your butt. All right, moving on to the Guardian, the Rogue cards, starting out with the Crystallizer of Dreams, with 2 copies of the Guardian of the Crystallizer in there. I personally have actually never played this card. I know it's like good with any of the Rogue event builds, like Safina or so, I guess. Because obviously getting multiple uses out of those events by being able to commit them is good. I feel like it's not really worth it, and in my opinion, I feel like there's better accessory slot items, like Lucky Cigarette Case, for example. However, that's just my thoughts on that. We got Gregory Gry. You could basically spend resources from him to gamble if you're going to succeed by that much, and if you do, you get that mini back. Very, very good card, I think. I'll be honest, I haven't really played a rogue in a while, or at least a big money rogue, but obviously Gregory Gry definitely fits into that category. All right, next we got Followed. Followed is interesting. Investigate, enemy at location, +1 for each damage, discover additional clue. Well, I mean, I guess it's good in Trish Yarborough. Yeah. All right. Let God sort them out. definitely not as good. This is a way to get 1 additional experience, and you have to defeat an enemy or enemies with a total of 6 or more health. That's a tall ask, and honestly, I feel like it's not that worth it for a card. All right, we got 3 easy marks. Fantastic card. Obviously, commit one of them. You can play one of them and then play into the next one. Pretty fantastic. Really good card. Really good economy. And honestly, it can suffice as your economy for like a whole deck if you're not that big. We got Momentum. Obviously, this is fantastic in Amanda Sharp. But I think also it's pretty good if you are definitely a Succeed by X deck, like, for example, Winifred Happenmock. Very, very good. And if you care about succeeding, then you can succeed by a lot on a small test, succeed by, or to allow you to pass another test. 3 aces. Obviously, this card definitely is a card in which you can assemble if you can assemble the combos, then you can just automatically succeed. And obviously, Taboo, this will just discard and you can potentially draw it again. But other than that, it's a good card. I wouldn't honestly take them if you don't plan on using them, though. You really need to take advantage of that. All right, level 2 Burglary, which lets you gain resources, more resources the more you succeed by. Honestly, just take better resource cards. You don't need to investigate and not get clues. Double checking. Yeah, instead of discovering clues. Yep. All right, we got the Garrote Wire. Garrote Wire is fantastic. Getting that last bit of health on an enemy is great. It can work on elite enemies too, especially when it's fast. It's kind of like it's giving you +1 damage if you think about it. And definitely an accessory slot that a lot of fighters don't really care about to begin with. And that's good. All right, Haste. Obviously, this card is very complicated, or at least it can be. This card definitely raised a lot of questions, but it's a very good card if you're kind of doing the same thing over and over again. Maybe if you need to move 3 times, you can only move twice. If you are fighting like Tony Morgan, you can fight twice and get 3 fights out of it. Or if you have a bunch of activate actions, that's also good because you can get even more activate actions. Swift Reload. In my opinion, one of the, if not the best way to reload guns in this game. It just reloads to the uses X value of the gun. But I think the main bit that is phenomenal about it is it's fast. I think that is the main bit that makes it very, very good. For me, it's better than all of the other reloading cards. Daredevil level 2. So this one just reveals, you're always going to reveal another rogue skill after you commit this and you reveal that one. And then you shuffle the rest of the revealed cards back into your deck. It's a good card if you're definitely trying to combo off, or if you're digging for those 3 aces, I guess. All right, we got level 3 Delilah O'Rourke. Fantastic ally. Those 2 stats are very, very good. Combat and agility for those fighters. And getting the ability to finish off or just ping enemies for some money is very, very good. Love me some Delilah O'Rourke. We got Joey the Rat Vigil. This is the level 3 version. This is the version that broke Bob Jenkins. That's right. Because you can sell your items to him to gain 2 money. You can spend a money to put an item into play. Or, sorry, play it. You're paying its cost. But if you have a lot of item discounts like Bob Jenkins, then you could do that over and over again and scavenge the back after you succeed by a lot. It's very good. And finally, for the rogue cards, we have the Sawed-Off Shotgun. All right, yeah. So, obviously, this doesn't cost as much as a shotgun. It has the same amount of bullets. Doesn't give you a combat boost, but if you succeed by 6, that is the maximum range, whereas the old shotgun can only succeed by 5. Obviously, you need to work towards getting this to work. But when it does, hoo boy, 6 damage. That's great. Just don't do it while the enemy is engaged with someone else. You might instantly kill them. All right, moving on to the Mystic cards. Starting off with Healing Words. It's a healing spell. All right, next we got Scholar Prophecies. One of the best, or one of the only, ways in Mystic to draw cards. It's really good, but sometimes I always feel like I don't want it, but I always like it when I do have it. And you can give it to other people if you so choose. All right, we got the event cycles, which recently got an upgrade in the Feast of Hemlock Vale. Good timing. Ethereal form. I actually really prefer. Well, if I was gonna get an evade spell, I think this is the one I would get. Obviously, if I would get an evade asset spell, there's obviously Missive Relier, which I think is much preferable. But Ethereal form is a nice way to kind of just say nope to all of the enemies on the board for at least one turn. Pretty good. We got the open gates. Yes, love open gates. Really breaks open a lot of scenarios. And definitely a tech card, but when it works, it works. All right, we got the read the signs. Clue compression, always good. Sometimes that ability to ignore things matters, but sometimes it doesn't. Otherwise, it's just a good way to get 2 clues. Spectral Razors is fantastic. Not only does it give you 3 damage for non-elite enemies, but you can attack aloof enemies with them since you engage them before you attack with this card. Fan-freaking-tastic. All right, we got the Summoned Hound along with the Unbound Beast. This card is very weird. Obviously, it gives you a free action during your turn to fight or investigate with a base skill of 5, which is very good. Obviously, at some point, the Unbound Beast is going to show up, unless you somehow cheat the Summoned Hound into play, which is certainly possible now that we have a lot of tech cards in the game. We got Stargazing, 2 of those, along with 2 copies of The Stars Are Right. You know, I've seen Stargazing work, and yes, it blanks an encounter card, and obviously it gives you a card and a resource and an action. Sometimes, though, you kind of just want to play better cards, but, you know, if someone else plays it, I wouldn't be too upset about it. All right, we got the 3 Empower Cells. Basically, you can use them to actually test the skill indicated instead of using willpower, for example, like Shriveling or Azure Flame, stuff like that. And you can also exhaust them to give bonuses to those tests. Obviously, it's kind of awkward. This is a Mystic, because Mystic is all about the willpower stuff. But if you are a class that can use these, maybe, I think. Also, yeah, like, I don't know, if you're Sister Mary, you can use the combat one to be able to get yourself better combat. That seems pretty all right. All right, we got 3 copies of Mind's Eye. Obviously, very good in Patrice. And honestly, and pretty good with investigators that can use just their willpower but don't need their arcane slots. But it's good in Patrice, obviously, because you can discard the Mind's Eye to be able to get more secrets on your Mind's Eye. Word of Command. I always think about getting... It's just a tutor for a spell, and it's good. I always think I should get it. I never really found the room, but maybe I should use it more. Seems like it's a good card. We got Twyla Catherine Price. Whenever you spend a charge, you can put a charge back if you exhaust Twyla. Fantastic in the decks that use a lot of charges. Spell acid heavy decks. Kachi Ondieli loves Twyla Catherine Price. She's pretty good. And finally, we have the Shining Trapezohedron. I'll be honest, I always don't remember what this card does. I believe you can test willpower and then play a card from your hand for free. Is that right? That's right. I guess that's the thing. I don't know if that's worth 4 experience and an accessory slot and an action to play out first. But there it is. Alrighty, moving on to the Survivor cards. We have Moonstone. Love me some Moonstone. Obviously great in Patrice. Great in Wendy Adams, since she can discard this to her ability to redraw a token and then play it. And those are the stats that she loves as well. Very good in Wendy Adams. 3 copies of Glimmer of Hope. Glimmer of Hope, obviously in the right decks, it works great. I like it in Minty Fan, since it's always a way to get an extra wild icon, especially if it's just in your discard pile, and you can get them all back for just a resource. It's a good card in the right decks. 3 copies of Fortuitous Discovery. I never really got this card to work. It doesn't help that it doesn't give you it doesn't do anything unless one of them is in your discard pile. So the first one does nothing. But obviously, if you're discarding a bunch all the time, like Patrice Hathaway, it can work. Scrounger Supplies, very, very good card. Some of the level 0 cards are still very good. You can scrounge, for example, or Resourceful. But yeah, it's good. Jessica Hyde, it's Peter Sylvester's faraway girlfriend, I guess. But, you know, maybe they're just related, actually. Maybe they're not girlfriends. Very good card. Definitely a key piece in the Never Die deck, along with Peter Sylvester. Very good. All right, we got Miss Doyle along with Hope, Zeal, and Augur. Honestly, I've never played Miss Doyle just because I never really know what I want out of this. Obviously, getting the right, like getting Augur is good because you can get an additional. No, you just get like a free investigator. I guess maybe Hope is good because getting an automatic evade is better than an automatic fight. I don't know. Yeah, it's fine. They're fine. Okay, moving on. We have this cycle of skills. Very, very. I love these skills. Brute Force, Expeditious Retreat, and Sharp Vision. Remember when I said Daring was a part of a cycle of skills? I was wrong. I don't know why I thought that. Anyway, Brute Force is fantastic. Getting 3 damage off of a basic fight that gives you 3 combat. You just need to succeed by 2. Very, very good. Sharp Vision is also excellent since it's basically another deduction since there are rarely times you're going to use other than basic, like you're going to be basic investigating. So Sharp Vision is very good. Expedition Retreat is good in the right circumstances. Obviously, if you're being swarmed by enemies, it's not as good as the one from the core set. We actually get to move afterwards. I think that one's better. But these are very good cards nonetheless. All right. And the next one, Scavenging level 2. Definitely pretty busted in the right decks. If Bob Jacobs could take this, it'd be insanely powerful, but luckily he cannot. Minty Fan could take this and cycle things like the Necronomicon or things like the, other disgusting things like that. And good card. It's a good card. All right, we got the Nightmare Bauble along with 3 copies of the Dream Parasite. Nightmare Bauble. It allows you to cancel an autofail just by putting Dream Parasites back into your deck. But obviously, more and more Dream Parasites you're going to get, the more and more you have to commit them and take a bunch of damage and horror if you fail, which you're likely to do. And lastly, you got Nothing Left to Lose. So, go back to 5 resources, go back to 5 cards, remove it from the game. Obviously, it's great in Patrice just because she's... Actually, is it good? Actually, I don't... It's not good in Patrice because she's always getting her hand refilled. I don't actually know who this is good for. I mean, I feel like it's good in decks that like to draw cards, but not a lot of... Maybe Minty Van, but she doesn't really have a use for the resources either, so who knows? All right, lastly, got some neutral cards. Versatile. Whenever I think about deck combinations, you always got to think about Versatile now, since it opens up a lot of possibilities, especially with level 0 cards. Basically, everyone has access to every level 0 card now because of Versatile. Is that a mistake? Who knows? All right, we got 2 copies of Lucid Dreaming. I actually really like Lucid Dreaming if you're finding any of the myriad cards that like each other. For example, the Segments of Onyx or 3 Aces, obviously, because you can find the rest. Also, it searches your whole deck. Mandy Thompson loves that. All right, and finally for the neutral cards, we got 2 copies of the Black Cat. I've actually never played the Black Cat, but just by looking at it, it looks phenomenal. Obviously, the big hurdle is that it's worth 5 experience. So it has to be kind of really part of your game plan if you want to go down that route of using the Black Cat. But if you do, it's pretty good. And we got the 4 multiplayer-only weaknesses. Self-centered, kleptomania, narcolepsy, your worst nightmare. Honestly, I really like this cycle just because there's a lot of flavor to it. Kleptomania is always a lot of fun. Self-centered usually doesn't matter, but it can. Narcolepsy is very punishing in the right circumstances. Maybe if you're in the first scenario of the Circle Undone and you fall asleep in the middle of the woods without anyone else being able to help you, that's pretty bad. And your worst nightmare, as long as your fighter is able to deal with it, is good, but can be bad. Obviously, to evade is possible to evade, so not the worst there. All right, well, that is all the cards. That's everything from this expansion. Glad to be back. As I said at the beginning of this video, hopefully a playthrough of the Feast of Hemlock Vale is coming to the channel soon. So please watch that when it comes out. And yeah, obviously Dream Eater's expansion campaign itself is also coming out in a month. So that'll be coming to the channel. And later this year, the final re-release is coming out, The Ends of the Conspiracy, as far as we know. I don't think they've actually announced it at this time. But when that comes out, I'll be playing that as well. If you like this video, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell to be notified when I post a new video. It really helps out the channel. This has been SuperFang99, signing off.